Breathe. Usa.
Goose Frabba.
Welcome to... Shut up. Right. Welcome to Sage's Retreat, the home of news, games, parenting, mishaps and things that shouldn't be said outside of a vacuum chamber to people that actually care. On today's podcast we have Lee. That's me and my co-host Nathan.
Hello.
Let's start off with what's been happening this week. Nathan, give me your juicy week.
My juicy week has comprised of getting a day to myself for once because the kids went back. Well, Alice went back last week and Olivia went back Monday, and I didn't have a day off until yesterday on my own because Alice decided she was ill Monday, so she stayed at home, so I had her at home. Then Jay decided she were ill yesterday and stayed at home. It's not COVID, so it's not COVID.
I was going to ask you about Jay because I know you said she was at home. I was like, is she skiving?
Yeah, she was skiving. If any of her bosses are watching, she wasn't skiving. She had a migraine, so that's fine.
Migraines are very serious,
Yeah.
Jade's bosses. You should take that in consideration.
Should.
Have you ever had a migraine?
Yes.
If you haven't had a migraine, shut your mouth.
Yeah, they were awful. It
Because it's-
wiped her out. It was horrible.
Mm.
But yeah, she went back to work yesterday, so I got the day on my own for the first time since before Christmas. So that was good. Got some stuff done.
Yeah.
Started streaming, obviously, because we said it last time. And you've been coming and modding my chat and taking the piss, so that was good.
I'm saying hello.
Yeah.
We've been neglecting. He's neglected me,
Yeah.
and he's been streaming.
It's been lonely, so he's had to come and see me talk to other people instead.
Nathan, typing away. Nathan,
Yeah.
I'm still here.
And I'm like, ah. Wait.
Stop talking to these other people.
Yeah, well, I made loads of new Twitch friends now that were all my best mates and that I'm talking to.
I know. I've got a tier coming.
Yeah.
Although I don't think heating's on at quite high.
Yeah.
It might just be a tier. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'll believe it's a tier. Yeah,
No, it's great.
Mm.
No, it's good. I've seen you on.
yeah.
I think the setup works well.
Mm.
Camera looks good. The audio's good. There was the odd time when I came and I was like, dude, I can't hear the game, and you were like, oh,
Yeah.
so you've had a little play, and I
Yeah.
think you're figuring it out now for yourself, which I mean, you get it's the same recording, doing the audio for this. You mess it up, and then someone's like, oh, by the way, and then you figure it out and you get it sorted. It's just the way it is, isn't it?
But yeah,
No, I think it's great. Just get on with it, because like I say, you weren't sure. Obviously, this is not I'm doing this to replace work. It's I haven't got anything to do, so I'm doing this. And you know, if it blows up, if it does become something, it can become something, can't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's just good. It's also a good little hobby
yeah,
to have. You like playing your games, so
Mm.
why not play your game that you'd often be normally playing anyway, and just play it with other people
yeah,
around. You make a few contacts, a few of these online friends. You might play other games as well. Although we'll have to see what happens for that, because you've kind of thrown yourself down a well, haven't you, of this the style of game, which is Dark Souls.
yeah. But there's quite a lot of them, so I'm not too worried, because I can sort of switch and turn. Plus I've had a couple of offers to play Sea of Thieves as well, so I need to get that redownloaded.
Did you say? Excuse me, I already played Sea of Thieves with my friend Lee.
Yeah,
Pirate Legend.
I have already said we're both Pirate Legend, and I've got a crewmate that has to be with me on every voyage.
Yes.
Also, I bring Lee as well as that imaginary parrot that I have, or dog or cat, whatever I've got now.
So did you say if you want someone to actually be a pirate, then Lee needs to come along?
Yeah, if you like,
Because he will be going arr like that at every ship that comes past.
if you like role playing as a pirate, Lee is the best person for it. So he does the accent, his Bristolian accent very well, or Devonshire, wherever it's from.
The only worry you've got is that whether he's flipped that coin and it's on attack people day.
What
I like to think
mood
of
is
it
he?
like yeah. I like to think of it. It's not like a two-sided coin, but there's like a 1 out of every 3 days. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to shoot people today.
Let's just kill
I
him.
see someone, I'm just going to kill him, because pirates do that.
Hmm.
And it's acceptable as long as it's not everyone you meet. I don't like people that do it all the
Yeah.
time. The constant. I think, come on, it's not like that all of the time. A pirate wouldn't get any shit go off and be like, oh, you know what, we got to tie 17 people today. It's okay to go out and be friendly. And I think some of the best experiences that we've had in Sea of Thieves are friendly ones.
Yeah.
Came by that time that we came across that crew and then we were all dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
You can remember that one. And then there was that one where we came across, there was a guy with, there was some woman, wasn't there? And she couldn't stop laughing at our antics and what we was up to, and it was like it was a one-off experience that was just unique. And I don't
it does provide some of the best social stuff, that game, the interactions that you get are a bit more slow paced, isn't it? So you can have a chance to, I know there is hectic like gunfights, but
that game, if you're not busy and getting smashed and resupplying, that game also can send you to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure I have nodded. I'm like, because it's been late. You know, we've been on like 1 a.m, and I've just been like, I've got to go. I've got to switch off now because the sea, it's just, and it is a beautiful sea as well. It's one of the
gorgeous.
It's one of the nicest oceans that you can see in the game. The sunrise. I mean, we've been playing Valheim. Obviously, I'm probably not going to mention it too much on this podcast because we kind of smashed it a few times, but Valheim, the ocean is very nice. It looks, especially them storms. Good lord, when you're making your base and the storms come in and it's lifting up and it's intimidating. I think that storm is, and then I love it when it clears and the sun comes out and then you get that mist and then it's like normal daytime again. It's like what it's probably like once every like 10 evenings or night times that you get that storm, isn't it? You don't get it all the time, and I'm glad because it's pretty hectic. But so yeah, streaming away. We'll see how it goes. I'll definitely be joining you if you do some Sea of Thieves. I'll be on with you, and we'll do some.
I wouldn't have it any other way, so I wouldn't go on.
Well,
that'd be good luck charm.
You just got to be careful around barrels, explosive barrels.
I like to sell them. You like to blow them up.
It's the way it goes. I think that's a fair deal, isn't it? There's a barrel there, and I'm like, if I blow it up there, I wonder what will happen. And you're like, look, we can sell it. I'm like, yeah, but if we get 2 of them, we've got that video somewhere where we've got a line of about 10, and we're like, it's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, and there's also, you can put them on the front of the ship, can't you? And then ram other ships and blow them up and stuff, which is a genuine technique of taking people out. If they're not prepared for it, then they're in big trouble. And as I like to say,
deep water.
Arr. Deep water. Arr. Yeah, there's definitely some weird accent going off there, but I don't care. Pirates are all different. It's all fair game when you're a pirate.
Yep.
Anything else?
Jade's been streaming. She's got into it. And that's about it. Bit of a quiet week. Busy streaming. What about yourself?
You know, it's just been a normal kind of week, really. We jumped back onto Dark Souls 3 again because I've uploaded a video for that as well. I didn't enjoy it last night when we were playing. I didn't. It was okay. I just found it okay. But I think it might be because I've not been on.
Yeah.
I think I've just kind of fell out of sync with it. We'll go on again and we'll do another couple of hours or whatever. But yeah, I just didn't really twig with it last night. I think we got raided a lot as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think we got. It's like I've said it before, and I think those two aspects of the game, the having to have an item to do online, severely cripples some people in terms of being able. Because there might be a time when you haven't got on it. It's like, we can't play together. We can't play together on a game which has an online functionality. We can't play together. That's ridiculous. And it's been out long enough that maybe they could be like, we'll just we'll do something so that you can play on whatever. Or even have it so that if you don't, what is it called? An ember, isn't it? So maybe if you didn't have it, you kind of got less XP or something. There could be some way of balancing it out. Do you want to use? Do you want to be embered and use one of those items and have normal XP experience, or would you like to not use one, do online anyway, and then somehow get penalised for it? Why not? There could be something. There could be something because at some point you can run out of them and then be like, yeah, sorry, I can't play with you anymore. And to me, that seems a bit. It seems a bit off. I don't like that. And I know maybe the hardcore players might just look at it and go, well, you don't really care. You don't. Yeah, it's fine. I just want to play the game, play online, have some fun, and just at the end of the day walk away with not having to worry if next time I go online I've only got, I don't know, I can only ember myself twice. I might find one of them during the first half hour, but they don't come along all the time, do they? It's not like there's loads of them, but it is what it is. I had a little bash with Sekiro, and that's a little bit more my style because of just the whole Orient. I love that. Can I say Orient? Is that a thing? You said
Japanese aesthetic.
I'm going to say
feudal. That's it.
The feudal Japan, that kind of their sort of mysticism that they have, and just the samurai kind of aesthetic. I think that's it's great. I love that, and I love the because they have that like parry thing, don't they? It's like Valheim.
Yeah.
Someone goes to hit you, you can parry, and then you can attack. And I quite enjoyed going through that, and I'm going to definitely play some more of that. My son Jack was 18 this week.
Old man now.
I've already got a 20-year-old. She'll be 21 in October, but Jack was 18, and it's just like, well, another one is now an adult. And I said to him on his birthday, I said, you know what, you might be 18, you might think you're big and smart. I says, but you know, you've got 21's your next one, and I says, and you won't even know what you're doing with your life until you're like 25. And even then, there are people that are in the 30s that are still walking around going, who am I? What am I? Yeah, and I don't know whether you're joking, but I'm 41, and I still look and think, what am I going to do with myself? And then go, oh wait, I'm 41, I'm just going to get old now. I think it's that sort of a, where am I heading? There's nothing wrong with that. I always find, when you come across people that have committed themselves very early in life to doing something, I look at that and go, that's odd. And I think it's just the way they are. I've never been able to commit myself to something. Is that a poor thing? No, because I find I'm a little bit of a jack of all trades. I know a little bit about a lot. Some things I know a good amount. Some things I know a lot. Some things I know a little bit about. But I have this like weird wealth of like knowledge about lots of things that I've done and that I can do. I've never been able to gather it all up and focus that energy into one thing. I just get bored. I think my brain's just not designed to commit. And that's just the way it is. I don't know if you feel like that about just that kind of like mentality. Is you know, I mean, you did a job for quite a few years. Your last job, didn't you? But before that, you did. Was it 8? Before that, you did a different type of job, and it's like you kind of go from one to the other, and you do well in each one. But ultimately, you kind of go, a bit sick of this now.
Yeah.
I want to do something new. I quite like being creative, but I've never got a sort of qualification in anything of that. So it's very hard to get into it, isn't it? And then it's hard to make. You need to balance it out without having to make steady money. And then steady money is often any old boring job. Say boring, just maybe not as well paid, but steady. I think the idea, ideally, I'd want to do a steady but not brilliant job, and then something on the side for a few hours where I could earn a little bit of a little chunk extra.
Yeah.
But that's the dream, isn't it? You know, just doing something you enjoy and earning an okay. I'm not worried about earning loads of money. I just want to be able to earn a nice amount, and
just to be comfortable.
Yeah, to get by, be comfy, and just get on with it. And it's, the dream. Holly's back at school, and she's been going through all her normal drama with kids, and we've had to contact school about certain children being less than ideal. And I was joking. I was like, you know what? If this was the 50s, the parent would have gone in the school, waited outside the school, and clipped that little kid around the table. Do you know what I mean?
The teacher would have probably given him a little tap.
They would have picked him up and been like, "Oi, you little shit." They would have been like, "Oi, what you doing? You need to stop it, or I'm going to tell your dad," or you know, or or here's a cane, or whatever. And I'm not saying you should scare kids into behaving well, but I don't see the harm in a little threat. You know, in a little, you're going to get in trouble. You know, but what we do is now is you're going to get in trouble, whereas years ago, even when I was little, it'd be, I'm going to smack your ass. I'm going to belt you. Do you know what I mean? And you'd be like, ooh, and I know, obviously, you know, you're supposed to beat your kids. I don't advocate beating your children, but like when you was little and your mum was like, you best stop doing that or I'm going to smack you. You stopped doing it. Didn't you? You'd stop and you'd be like, okay. Or you'd push it, you'd get a clip around the ear, and then you'd be like, oh, messed up again. And you would behave. And something in your brain would be going, they don't like this. I should stop doing this. Or so I'm going to get a punch in the face again. You had to, you know, you haven't going to get a clip around, not a punch in the face. I'm going to get a smack around the backside again. I don't think it... Does anyone, like an adult like myself, would they ever say that it harmed them? Would they ever say that, yeah, that my mum smacking me on the arse, it might have stung for half an hour, but I soon learned that not to do these things. You know, you get criminals nowadays that do stuff wrong, they put them in prison. In a way, is that, you know, if people, like, say, do like financial crimes that don't really physically hurt anyone, and could get some sort of like, could get a bit of feedback from that one, but they don't. You're not killing. You know, you're not doing anything wrong to children, but you might be stealing off big companies or whatever, or, you know, messing with the books. They get thrown in prison. Is that the right sort of punishment? Is that any more humane than smacking a kid or whatever? You know, I think there's yeah, I don't think we could just go back to smacking kids, but kids are. It takes a lot more effort nowadays to sort out these problems. I always said to Holly, I says, if you're getting bullied and pushed around, just punch them in the face. And I know you shouldn't. I know people are going to say you shouldn't say that, but I've seen bullies turn into normal people after being sort of like taught a lesson. Do you know what I mean? Those bullies that constantly bully, that maybe physically bully people as well. When someone's turned around and smacked him, they've been like, oh, people actually do retaliate to this. It's a weird one, isn't it? I don't like people getting hurt, but sometimes I think those bullies that push you a little bit, sometimes you need to push back. A little push back, a little, just stop it, yeah. I'm not a toy. I'm not something you can rag about. I'm not your little, you know, your frustrations, they don't come out on me, because I'm just, if they realise that people are going to hit back at them, they might be like, ooh, we'll stop it. You know, there's only so many times a kid can be told, please don't do that, it's not nice. What's the problem? Let's sort it out. Or let's get together and have a chat. And I'm just like, I don't want to get there. I don't want to chat to people. I just want to be like, leave me alone. You know, if someone in the street, you don't sit there and have some sort of mediation session, do you? You're not like, oh, hiya. You just leave each other alone, don't you? I don't know. It's a funny one. Kids at school, absolute nightmare. You'd think the drama would go, but the kids love that drama, and there's always a few. So anyway, that's what we've been up to this week. So we're gonna skip through. The title of this video is News and Marvel versus DC. So I'm gonna do a bit of news first, but the Marvel versus DC, if you're wondering, is to do with it's like a battle. We're comparing different superheroes, and it's something that's going to be the meat of our podcast. But we're going to come across that in a few minutes. EA Play is coming to Game Pass on PC. Yeah. It's actually on the 18th, which is today, but the podcast will be out on Friday. So excuse the slight confusion. So if you have Game Pass, you will have it on your PC the day that this podcast comes out, which is the 19th. It's been on console for a while, which is frustrating because why couldn't they release it on both? I don't know. We'll just assume it's some licensing issue. Unless they were trying to get people to maybe buy a console to have Game Pass and EA Play. They were trying to, maybe for like 6 months, they were like, hey, you want to get one of those nice consoles because you can get EA Play. I don't know. I don't care because to be honest, I don't think there's a ton of games that I'm all that interested in, but because it's a free addition to Game Pass, I'm definitely going to have a look, and I will no doubt dip into a few of them. So Karina's got EA Play. She paid like 75p for it on Steam. She's been playing Mass Effect Andromeda, which we mentioned before, which you say is a pretty decent game.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Ignore
it's
the bad.
A long game.
Yeah. I'd maybe 100 hours, but I'm like for achievements and finishing stuff. I think for a normal person maybe 40. So
yeah,
but I like
I think
to take it to the extreme.
I think it's a 20-something hour game if you ignore the side quests. But Karina says she has been doing a few of the side quests to take her interest, which I think is the way to go. I think, I like this sound of that, I'll go and do that, as opposed to I've got to do that, which is fine if you like to do that. Me, I just do what I feel like. I think when it comes to Borderlands, I would more than likely do every job, but I'd always miss one, and I'd be like, you know what, I just can't be bothered, and I'd just leave it, and I wouldn't have an issue with it. There's loads of Battlefield games coming to it, that are on it, and the Battlefield games are obviously brilliant. Some of them better than others. I think that's worth having a look at if you like those.
Are the
if you've got
Sims games on it? Do you know?
The Sims is coming to it. Sims 4. I don't know about 3. I know Sims 4's on it, and I think there's it's like a special edition where you get some of the DLC and add-ons, but not a lot. I mean, that game's worth in excess of £500.
That's what I was going to say. It would be just worth it for that if you get quite a lot of them. So
yeah, I have a big issue with The Sims because it's mainly aimed at. Sorry about this. I think it's mainly aimed at kids, with the addition of having adults that like to play it as well, which is absolutely fine. I think it's a bit like Minecraft in the sense of it is kind of aimed at a younger generation to play with their mates and get on with it. But at the same time, I can quite say, if someone said you've got to play Minecraft for a few hours, I could sit down and play Minecraft and be happy and not really care what anyone thought of me, because Minecraft is a brilliant game. It's you can treat it as a creative platform in the same way that you do Lego, or you can treat it in that exploration survival, and it works really well on both counts. It's a brilliant game. Absolutely, it's a masterpiece. Possibly one of the greatest games ever made, ever. It's one of those games I think that could last the test of time. Even in 10 years' time, I still think it will be like wow. Or there'll be something that replaces it, and I can't fathom what it would be.
Minecraft.
Maybe it'll be a variation. Minecraft. I don't think they'll ever. I think no. Minecraft will be a game that evolves. If anything, you look at vanilla Minecraft from 5 years ago to what it is now. It's still recognizable, very recognizable, but at the same time, it's like different. It's a lot of it's different. Skate, if you remember those, there's so Mass Effect will be on it. FIFA, if you're one of those sort of people. I don't think I only know one, but two people that play FIFA, but that's because I'm an adult. Titanfall will be on there. If Titanfall 2's on there, it might be worth having a look at. Need for Speed as well. So there's loads of games on EA Play. Because it's like a free add-on, I think it's well worth just having a look. In fact, it might be on now. I'm not going to click it, but because you know what's going to happen, the recording will go. I think it's on now. It was like 2 p.m. Eastern Time, America. So if you consider they're kind of like 6 to 8 hours, sort of, might be on now. I'm gonna check it after the recording. We're going to jump from games to the news. Is going to go from one to the other. Justice League. You haven't seen it yet. I have watched the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, which is 4 hours long. It's in a different format. I know what you're thinking. 4 hours. It flew. If someone had said to me that film was 2.5 hours long, I would have gone, yeah. 4 hours. You know, like when you're at the cinema and you watch a film, and then that's like Lord of the Rings or something, and then you come out and you go, whoa, that was 2.5 hours. It felt like that at the end of it. We started watching it at 5 o'clock, and we paused it a few times, and it ended up being 10ish when we'd finished, because 5 o'clock is like roughly the time we have something to eat, and then the kids would come in a few times, so we'd pause it a few times, you might go to the bathroom or whatever. So it was about 10 when we'd finished, and it just, it was. I just sat there and I just embraced it. Oh yeah, the format is weird. It's not widescreen like a 16:9 type of format. It's like a 4:3, so it's a square. So you get the black sidebars on it. It didn't matter so much for me because I've got like a 50. It's going to affect people differently, but we've got like a 55-inch TV in the front room, so it was still a big picture. I mean, normally a lot of the times when you watch films, you've got the top and bottom black bars anyway, so you're still missing that TV real estate. So I don't think there's any justification for the complaint that people are giving. I've looked at a few reviews, and Angry Joe's been on about it as well. He doesn't.
They're
like
there
the
specifically,
format.
though, aren't they? They've added them black bars have been added there intentionally, so that because you couldn't watch it in the cinema, you can put little curtains on the side of your TV, like you're at the cinema, so it doesn't obstruct your view.
I think I'm going to need little curtains up next time. I don't think I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah.
It was 4 hours, but I'm going to put some little curtains up. One of the reasons it is because of IMAX. So you go to an IMAX, you go to watch an IMAX film. What would happen is you get a widescreen film, but then it wouldn't all be in IMAX. It would skip to IMAX, and when it goes to IMAX, it goes from wide to then it goes to like a square, and you don't tend to notice it. I don't really notice it when I've watched IMAX films. I've been like, oh, it's changed. Oh, okay. Oh, you might notice it and go, oh, and then it'd flip back, and then you wouldn't realise what was going off. It did it with Batman. Batman, the second one. I went to the cinema to watch that. Or was it the first one? I can't remember now. Anyway, I went to the cinema in Birmingham, and IMAX in Birmingham to watch that, and I remember it doing it and just being like, whoa. So it's something to do with the IMAX, and I think he wanted to keep it the same. So a lot of the other scenes, or all the other scenes, were then sort of like squared off as well. At not any point was I watching it and thought, wow, that format is ruining this film.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me. I watched it, enjoyed it. I'm trying not to give any spoilers, really. It added... Clearly it added a lot to the film, because the original cut, the Joss Whedon cut, was over 2 hours, but this was 4, so clearly it's added a lot. Now, if he was going to say what has it added, I could say there's... so this isn't really spoilers, so I wouldn't worry about it. If you are worried about it, just, I don't know, skip 5-10 minutes. But so they added more background story to some of the characters. So Cyborg, who is the black guy with the robotics all over him, all the cybernetic implants, and you see a bit of his backstory to do with his mother, and you understand more of why he's like grumpy with his dad, and I don't know why it wasn't in there, because he went from the original Justice League. He went from this grumpy kid who was not happy with his dad to watching the new one and going, I get it. I get why you're not happy, and it made sense. There was a bit of a creepy scene, which was a little bit rapey. It wasn't actually rape, don't worry, but it was a little bit like, ooh, that's a bit weird. Probably me and Karina watched it, and I turned to her and went, a bit rapey, isn't it? And she's like, yeah, a little bit. But it's nothing like horrific or anything. It's just like, that's odd.
Yeah.
Do you know, like when Biden sniffed kids? It's a bit like that. You kind of go, that's a bit weird, a bit rapey that, but it's not. That's to do with the Flash. But I like the scene. I thought the scene was good, but I think if any scene wasn't to be in the film, it's probably that one. Steppenwolf looked different, had new armor, and you got to learn more about what he was doing, why he was doing it, and there was other stories connected to that. It's fascinating. Just a brilliant watch. Just a genuinely an amazing watch. When I thought the film had finished, there was still like 20 minutes to go. There was this extra bit they'd put on. That was... I just want to mention things. I want to mention all these things that I've seen, and we'll talk about it when you've seen it. when you've committed that 4 hours of your life to watching it, you must watch it as well. If you didn't enjoy the first Justice League film that much, watch this one. I guarantee you will enjoy it more. How much more? Is it twice as much, with it being nearly twice as long? Maybe. Maybe, I don't know, but you will definitely enjoy it more. 100%. 100%. It's it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Even there was even more Wonder Woman stuff. I think as casting goes, I don't think they could have. It's like the Iron Man casting. You know, the Tony Stark character. I think they couldn't have cast a better actor for that. The Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and then brilliant. You get to see a bit more of her backstory. Can you remember the bit where the Colosseum was on fire as like a beacon?
Yeah.
So there was that beacon was there to warn men of whatever was happening, and it was like they won't understand, but she will, etc. There was even more to do with that, and that was brilliant. The reason, so. I don't know whether you know, but Zack Snyder, when he was filming Justice League, his daughter died. Her name was Autumn. The film was dedicated to Autumn, and we looked it up. And a lot of he's obviously going to make a lot of money from this cut. A lot of it is going towards suicide awareness and mental health. Because his daughter, she was 20, and she committed suicide, which is absolutely horrific and devastating for anyone. So he left the filming of it. He said, look, I can't be doing this right now. There was on about actually pausing it and then letting him have some time and then come back. But he said, no, we'll just get it finished. So he'd already filmed a lot of it, but then he got Joss Whedon now Joss Whedon did a lot of the Avengers films. So they got him in to finish it. But his style of filmmaking is a little bit different. Joss Whedon is a bit more comical, is a bit more fluffy, and Zack Snyder he's a bit darker. He likes more of a story, and you can see the difference in these films. They are two. You watch them. When you watch the cut, it's like, wow, this is a totally different film. I feel like I've watched, not totally. Sorry, I think that's an exaggeration, but it feels like a different film. Just the way that you feel about the characters, the way that you feel about the story, the way it ends is different. It's brutal. There are some bits in it which I was just sitting there, I just went, whoa, and I looked at Karina, she's like, what has gone off there? And that wasn't shown in the Joss Whedon, but it was in this. So whereas somebody might, just get hit and knocked down, in this there was one where somebody got shot and his head exploded, and it was like, all right, it wasn't like gruesome. I'd go with more brutal. It wasn't like there's blood everywhere. It was just like, but it was definitely a, and then it was gone. Just really good. Really enjoyed it. And I'm not a super geek, super nerd. I'm not going to be overly critical about it. I think you do yourself a disservice when you do that, because there's so many people involved, and then you've got politics are involved in it. There's always a bit of that in there. So brilliant, watch it, amazing. We've got now. Remember, one of my favourite games was this, is the Streets of Rage. If you remember, I was raging on about that.
Yep.
The creators of that have been given the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they are creating a side-scrolling beat-em-up in the same sort of same vein as the old ones, the whole Streets of Rage, but the art style is different. It's going to be like more of a pixel, like more of an old school kind of 16-bit pixel. I've seen a bit of video footage of it. It looks brilliant. I'm very much looking forward to it in the same way that I was excited about Streets of Rage. I'm looking forward to this. I remember being in the arcades and picking Donatello because he had a massive stick, and he was always really. Did you ever play Ninja Turtles side-scrolling?
I did, quite a few times. I played it 3-4 years ago. Last time I played it, and that's because I went to the arcade club in Manchester. And
is that the one that we've been planning on going to for like 2 years?
Yeah, but
Is
then
that the
COVID
same?
happens. Yeah, we will go. We're going to have to go. We'll meet up and we'll go and check it out. But yeah,
I want a truer element of normality before I start trying to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Out and about. I don't want to have to be. I don't want to have to be probed before I enter a building or anything. I think I want it to just be a bit more. We're getting there. It will get there. Maybe this time next year, I think will be a bit more normal, hopefully, and then we can do all those things that we need to do. Rockstar have horrendous. They have a horrendous load time on GTA. You know that when you're loading up GTA and you're like, okay, and it takes what?
15 minutes.
It takes too long.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm joining your server, and you're just like, you just sit in there staring at your screen, hoping for it to magically load, and then sometimes it fails, which is that's just adding insult to injury, isn't it? That when you get to that point, it goes, "Ooh, it failed." It's like, great. So one of the players, who's clearly a genius, has a fix for load times, and it's made it up to 70% faster. They've awarded him with like 10,000 whatever money they use, whether it's dollars or. They're all over the place, aren't they, Rockstar? So I don't know exactly how that works. But they've given him 10,000 something or another's. We'll go with pounds because that's real money for the fix, and it's brilliant. But it's like, how long's that game been out? Like 25 years?
Around about, yeah.
Yeah, it's been out what 6, 7 years now. I can't remember now. It's been out a while, and it took a player to be that annoyed that he had to fix it. But it's great news.
Yeah, always good news.
I do like it when. Yeah, an actor of mine so my favourite film, Alien. An actor who was in that, Yaphet Kotto, has died. He's 81. I don't always want to fill this full of it's not an obituary podcast, but it was important because he was one of my favourite characters in Alien. He played one of the engineers who was always moaning about the bonus situation, always wanting more money, and I love that. I absolutely love that character. But he was also in The Running Man, and I didn't realise until I read something. It was on a website, and it was like, "Oh, he was in The Running Man," and then it twigged, and I was like, "Of course he was. I remember him as soon as I read it." But he was also. A lot of people will know him from James Bond. He was a James Bond villain. He was Kananga in Live and Let Die. Bit of a loss there. I know you've got some news to add, but I just want jumping off Alien. Disney, who now own Alien, I can't remember how that happened, but they are going to be making Alien an important franchise, which I think is wonderful. Because I'm a big Alien fan. The only problem is it's Disney, so I don't know what they're going to do with it. Hopefully they're going to do something wonderful. There's a lot of old sort of storylines which have never been touched on, like massive battles. There's a load of books, and obviously they won't look at the books, will they? Because they didn't for Star Wars, and they managed to ruin that. So, but maybe they'll do something interesting in that. I'm looking for some more, and we always have notes for podcasts. I'm looking for some interesting wildlife xeno varieties. I'm thinking I want some crocodiles. I think that could be quite scary. Lions, but I want them to accidentally make some sort of budgerigar. I think that would be an alien budgerigar kind of mix. I think that would be excellent, and that's what I'm looking for. That is exactly what. But I'm excited to see what happens with that, because anything could happen with that. What would you like to tell us your news?
Yes. Some of you might know it was the Square Enix Presents Spring 2021 presentation today. That were at 5 o'clock, and it's Thursday today, and this will go out Friday. And they announced a couple of things. Jade actually watched it live on Twitch because it interests some of the games that was announced. And I'll start off with Outriders, which I think we spoke about last week. the game that I wanted to play, that I've sort of been going on about for a while, and it's got mediocre reviews. That's what I've come to understand with it, because it's been I've seen good and I've seen bad, so I'm going to take it down the middle with that one. And then Lee mentioned that it's coming to Game Pass, but not for PC, and so that's a bit of a kick in the teeth, because obviously we play it on the PC, and we would have wanted to do that, but
It's very annoying.
yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll come one day. I mean, I didn't want to spend £60 as well on a game. I've still got the demo, which I've still not tried. So we did actually speak about this last week, because I did say we're going to try it and then let you know. I've just not had time to try it, and I will try it. Another announcement they gave was the Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor trilogy. So them 3 new Tomb Raider games. I said new, they've been out ages. The newest Tomb Raider games, where they sort of did a rework on them and made it look really nice. They're doing like a HD remake of them and releasing them as a trilogy. So Jay's looking forward to playing that. That comes with all DLC as well. And then
The Tomb Raider games. Sorry to interject. The Tomb Raider games already look really good.
Yeah, I don't even think it needs like a remake or a remaster or whatever they want to call it.
Nope.
But that's what they're doing, because I think they've run out of ideas, because the other bit, which was the bit that Jade was interested in, because she's been streaming Life is Strange, is the Life is Strange number 3, even though it's like the 4th game, but one of them's a prequel. The 3rd one, they've announced that, and that's called True Colours, and that involves, they all have like a sort of superpower or something, don't they? Like the first one's time travel, and the second one's telekinesis or something. I've not really played the second one, but this one, she can sort of see auras or something. That's why the True Colours thing. So Jay's quite excited about playing that. And they're also bringing out a remastered of all the previous ones. So they're remastering, even though it still looks pretty good, because the art style is like sort of cartoony, isn't it? It's like, it's sort of, it's weird. It's like someone's drawn it on paint. It's like a weird.
It's very artistic. Yeah, very artistic. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice, and I don't think it needed a remaster either. But they're doing another one of them, and I've got some free games for everyone as well. Loads of free games for once. Sony are giving away 10 free games on PlayStation 4, and there's a couple on PlayStation 5 for them 2 people that own a PS5 in UK. Terry's one of them. And we've got starting on 25th, so next week. Oh, make sure you get the Ratchet and Clank as well, which it'll go. I think it goes off on the 25th, so I'll claim that now, because that's free. But the 10 free games are, I mean, I'm not entirely excited about all of these, because I own most of them anyway, are Abzu, Enter the Gungeon, Res Infinite, which I would quite like to play, Subnautica and The Witness. And then there's some PSVR games, Astro Bot Rescue Mission, Moss, Thumper, Paper Beast, and that's it for the VR ones. But the main one, which has got everyone excited for, is Horizon Zero Dawn, the complete edition, so you get all the DLC and everything like that. That's on PS4 and PS5, so Terry can finally have a game to play, even if it is an old game. So he'll be able to go on PS5. And
that Horizon
the last
is a
game is the
game.
Epic one. I know Lee's going to tell you about the game that's out this week, but I've got the next week one. Yeah, it's proper nice, isn't it? That's one of the reasons I bought PS4, was to play that game, even though it's now on the PC. But and now I can get it for free, even better. The Epic game for next week is called Creature in the Well. It's got really, really good reviews. It looks quite good, but I've kept it up because I want to tell you what the little blurb is. It's a top-down pinball-inspired hack-and-slash dungeon crawler. So loads of buzzwords fired into that. I like the pinball-inspired part.
Are you only using 2 buttons for this? Like you would on
just
a pinball machine?
flipper. I mean, it does look a little bit pinball from above. The art style of it is quite nice. It does look a little bit like Zelda, like this SNES or NES version of Zelda, like the top down, or the Game Boy. Looks a bit like that, but Heavy Rain mixed. It's got that sort of art style.
Okay.
But it looks good. I think I might actually give that one a go. I don't always give the Epic games a go because sometimes they're just not my thing. But this one looks like it might be. And
sometimes it's trash. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's a reason it's been given away for free. But that one looks pretty good, and this week's looks really good. And I might give that one a try. But you've had a look at that one, haven't you, Lee?
Yeah, so the one that you can get right now is called The Fall. It came out in 2014. It's a side-scrolling, simple-looking game. It's got really... I watched a video. It's got really nice sort of animations on it. It's all right being simple, but if your animations are simple, often it can end up looking dated. But this is really smooth. Giant Bomb actually gave it Game of the Year for Best Story. Whether that was 2014 or 15, I'm not sure. It's described as having an acclaimed story, engaging puzzles, tense action. You are Arid, an AI on board a combat suit. The human pilot encased within the suit is unconscious, so you're like just a suit, a computer guiding a suit. And then you must find a way to save this unconscious person's life. It looks really interesting, and I think I'm probably going to download it and have a little look. Just because why not? Because why not? It's free, and it might be worth half an hour of my time. That sounds really patronising, but often I get bored of games after a little while, so I'll give it half an hour, give it a go. Sometimes I'll go back to them, which is a thing that I do quite a lot. Is I'll be like, I'll try that game again. I didn't give it enough of a chance. So that's the end of our news. If you're done with us now, switch off. Goodbye. Thanks for coming. Love you loads. If you want to stay, we're going to have a little rant for 15 minutes probably. I found something which is going to be, if you're watching the video, if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, it's going to be brought up now, and it will come on and off as we talk about it. So it's DC versus Marvel, and it's a selection of characters from each side. It's not all of them. We did notice that Spider-Man was missing, so we've replaced Falcon with Spider-Man because no one cares about Falcon, especially me and Nathan. So we replaced him with Spider-Man because it just makes a little bit more sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down the list. Now, I'm just going to warn you right now, me and Nathan, we're not comic book nerds. We're not deep into this world. So you'll have to forgive us for everything that we say wrong, we forget, we don't mention. It doesn't matter. It's just a bit of fun. We've got a list. It's going to be based on a combination of how useful they are in the grand scheme, and also how much we like them. So Superman might be really powerful and basically a god, but we might go, he's a bit cocky sometimes. I don't like him, and we're just going to scrap him. So we'll just go on to the next person. So it's going to be a non-nerd look at DC versus Marvel, and I'm going to start. If I go down the left side as we're looking at this, Nathan, so if I talk about the left side and then we'll discuss each one briefly, we'll try and make it briefly. And then if you want to go down the right side, call those out, and then we'll go from there, if that's okay with you, if we do it like that.
Yeah, so you're going to do complete left and then I'll do complete right, or do you want to do left, right, left, right?
I'll do complete left, you do complete right. And we'll get our champion on the left first, and then we'll go and we'll get our champion on the right, and then we'll have a discussion about which one we prefer for the ultimate champion. So first of all, if we don't know who they are, if we're not really sure, they're just going to get scrapped, and then we'll just pick it. That'll be like a default. Like there's one called, it's like Starfire. I know who Starfire is. Do you know who Starfire is?
No idea.
Okay, so that I'll mention who Starfire is, but then because Nathan's not sure, she's just going to get scrapped, and we'll just go to the next one. That's how we're going to roll on this. So first of all, Superman versus Star-Lord.
Star-Lord for me. I think he's a more interesting character. Plus, he's played by Chris Pratt, and he's got a cool helmet. No quiff.
I don't think he's more interesting. I like Superman has a bored, drawn out story. I think everyone knows it, but I like his story of being in. Then again, they're a bit reversed, aren't they? Superman came to Earth, whereas Star-Lord got taken from Earth. They're a bit reversed. I've just realised that now. They're kind of like polar opposites.
Yeah.
I'm
He owns a
tempted
spaceship.
to be like
The Milano.
Superman doesn't need a spaceship.
Yeah, but that's boring.
He is a spaceship.
Right, would you rather fly through space like Superman, or would you rather have a spaceship that you can go around and have your mates in, and you can have put your tapes on and listen to some 80s songs? Or just on your own with your cape?
So I originally dismissed Star-Lord, but I haven't got enough fight for Superman to care. And because Superman, is not very interesting, I think Star-Lord is a better character in terms of the enjoyment. Although I have a hatred for Star-Lord when he did that stupid dance.
Oh, at the end of the
there
first
was that weird,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm dancing, and that's going to prevent the bad guy from doing anything. I like the film, but that actually ruins the film for me. That one decision.
I have not watched this since the Christopher Reeve Superman. I've not watched any of the Supermans and thought these were good films, but I've watched the Guardians of the Galaxy and I'm like, these are proper good films. So that's what I'm basing that off as well.
So what I'm going to do is I will put Star-Lord in for the first one.
I'm happy with that.
I am fine with that. Martian Manhunter versus Captain America.
Captain America wins. I don't even know who Martian Manhunter is.
Okay, so this is down to D. I know who Martian Manhunter is. I don't know a lot about him. But because he's a bit of an unknown, we're going straight for Captain America. I'm just going to call him Cap. Because, let's be honest, that's enough. Because people do call him Cap, don't they? Let me actually move him in. Cap. Aquaman versus Black Widow.
Right, I'm going to fight for Aquaman because I know you're going to pick Black Widow just because of the actress that plays her. But I'm happy to just go with Black Widow because I don't think Aquaman's that interesting. I mean, Jason Momoa makes him interesting, but as a character other than Jason Momoa, Aquaman is terrible. His costume shit, his whole powers are crap. Black Widow's just cool.
Yeah, you see, I think, although we haven't discussed this, I think we should have a bit of a one each where we can say, I want that one, and this is my one that I insist on. If I was going to insist on one, it would have been this one. But
you wasted your insist on this one because I was going to let you have this one.
Well,
I don't particularly like Aquaman.
We'll start it from now. I don't like Aquaman. I'm going to go with the Momoa character. I find him... See, Jason Momoa actually seems like a nice guy, and as far as I'm aware, he is a nice guy, but he comes across a bit arrogant.
Yeah,
and I maybe it's just in some of the clips I've seen. I think he was drunk in one of them, and it looked terrible. But I do like Black Widow's character. I think usefulness. Aquaman couldn't be a spy, sneak behind enemy lines, and assassinate people, but Black Widow could, and I kind of like. Also, she has a bit of a dark background. I quite like that about her. I think there's something there with her, and I think it's good if we stick with that. So Black Widow, Batman versus Winter Soldier.
Batman, obviously. I don't really know who Winter Soldier is as well. I know he's the is it in with one arm, Bucky or whatever he's called. I didn't find him particularly interesting.
Yes, I believe
is it called Bucky?
So yeah, we'll go for Batman. It is Bucky. Yeah, I think my page quite likes him actually. Right, Batman it is. Wonder Woman versus Hawkeye.
Wonder Woman. I think Hawkeye's just. But Wonder Woman is Gal Gadot.
He's not in all
or even can't remember this 70s one. What should we call? Even she was a good Wonder Woman, so I'm happy
Oh,
with
yeah,
Wonder
she
Woman.
was good. She was amazing. Yeah, Black Panther versus Hawk Girl.
Mm. Don't even know who Hawk Girl is, but even if I did know who she were, it's got to be Black Panther on it.
Yeah, I think the Black Panther character is pretty decent actually.
Mm.
I do like Black Panther. The Flash versus Spider-Man.
This is the one. I'm going to say Spider-Man because I love Spider-Man, because it's Spider-Man. And I'm just going to keep saying Spider-Man because hopefully that's going to make you choose.
I'm happy to
him.
go.
I mean,
happy to go with. I'm happy to
Yeah.
go with Spider-Man. To be honest,
I
with
never-
you. I am. I like the. I like. Sorry, go on.
I've just never really seen, other than the films, I've never really seen Flash in anything, and I don't like the actor that plays him in the Justice League. I think he's a bit smarmy,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's what's turning me off. Also, I prefer Tom Holland as Spider-Man or Tobey Maguire, not Thingy Garfield, or good
Andrew
Spider-Man,
Garfield, yeah.
and I like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like Tom Holland.
Andrew
Right,
Garfield.
Green Lantern versus Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, only because everybody hates Green Lantern because of the film with Ryan Reynolds in, and that, I mean, I don't mind the film. I didn't think it was terrible as people make out, but it wasn't the best. And plus, Green Lantern's like, just, I can imagine things, and it's Theo, and everything's got to be green, and no. Whereas Ant-Man, I think he's a bit more, even though he's like not even a proper superhero, it's his suit in it that does that. And I mean, you can say that for Batman and stuff, but I like. I've completely forgot his name. It's what's he called? Who plays Ant-Man now? I always want to say Ben Stiller, but it's not. I always get them two mixed up.
I've forgotten.
I can't remember his name. I like him anyway. Yeah, no. Is it
Yeah.
because I've said Ben Stiller, isn't it?
You broke me.
What's
Yeah,
his?
yeah.
Thingy Rudd, Paul Rudd. It's Paul
Paul
Rudd.
Rudd, yeah,
I
yeah,
like
that's
Paul
it.
Rudd, and I think he plays an Ant-Man very well. And I enjoy. I only watched the films like a year ago. Yeah, and I was quite impressed. I quite liked them films. I always stayed away from them because I weren't a big fan of superhero films anyway. I mean, I quite like them, but that one just seemed on the lower tier. But I really enjoyed the Ant-Man films, and so I would go with Ant-Man on that one.
Well, I think you justified it by just saying you like the Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I did like. I like the Ant-Man character. He's okay. I like Green Lantern. It was in the Justice League cartoon. I thought it was cock on, to be honest with you. But they need a new Green Lantern. We need to see a new Green Lantern film, which I believe they're on about doing.
Yeah.
now. Right. So we've got our
Yeah.
first row of.
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to go eliminate the next lot. Star-Lord versus Captain America.
Mm-hmm. Star-Lord.
You
I
going
had to think about
Star-Lord
that.
again?
Yeah, I had to think about that one because I like Captain America, but I like Star-Lord more. That's the only reason. Also, Captain America's a bit like Superman. Do you know where he's a bit too good? And I like an anti-hero.
Yes,
me. I like,
that's where
I
he
like an
fails.
antagonist. Yeah,
That's where he
He just-
fails ultimately. I think he fails with the
too clean cut.
I'm
I
a
don't like
little
that.
bit pompous. I stand for justice. It's a bit like America. No,
Mm,
whatever.
mm,
But I like the fact that he came from like a weedy soul, weedy nothing to
mm,
a fighting man. I do like that aspect of
mm.
Captain America. But yeah, I will agree with you, and we'll put Star-Lord in again.
Mhm.
I don't know. I have a big issue with Star-Lord, with something, but I'll bring it up in a minute. So now we have Black Widow versus Batman.
Mhm. I would say Batman on that, but I know you're going to want Black Widow, so I
agree
will
with,
allow.
No.
Oh.
No. I'm a big Batman fan. I will go with Batman.
Good.
I like Black Widow. I think Black Widow and Batman would be a good fight. I think it could be something that could be pretty good because she's pretty nifty, isn't she? And they're both only human,
Mhm.
and I think that's important to consider, as they are both only people, and I think
Yeah.
that's something that you could put them together and fight, and I think it would be a good one. She's a scrapper at the best of times, isn't she? Right. So we're looking at Wonder Woman versus Black Panther.
I would say Wonder Woman maybe on this one.
I'm a big fan of Black Panther. I think it's really good. I like the character, and I like the fact that he has this sort of superhuman ability. But for me, Wonder Woman is a little bit more iconic, and she's very powerful. And I think So we're both in agreement with Wonder Woman on this one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Before the Black Panther films, I didn't really know who Black Panther were, but I knew who Wonder Woman were before the Wonder Woman films. So
I've heard of Black Panther, but he was definitely brought to prominence with the films for me. Yeah. So now we're going on to Spider-Man versus Ant-Man.
Spider-Man, straight up.
I'll go for Spider-Man on that one as well. I think even though Ant-Man is this massive or this small thing, I think Spider-Man has got just that element of cockiness and confidence to take him out. I think he could take him out in a fight, and also I just like the character. I like the Spider-Man character. Okay, we're getting close to our champion now for the final fight. So we're looking at Star-Lord versus Batman.
Ooh.
For me, Batman just takes it.
I want to say Star-Lord. All I keep thinking about is that spaceship. Batman doesn't have a spaceship. I know he does have a car and that. I can't remember what the flying one's called he's got.
I think he does have a spaceship in the Justice League cartoon. I think he does have a spaceship. And I
thought they flew around in Wonder Woman's invisible jet or something. Isn't that a thing?
I don't think she has an invisible jet. I think it would probably... I think you're thinking about X-Men.
No, I'm pretty sure she does have an invisible jet. Wonder Woman does have an invisible jet. I'm sure she does.
Are you on about from the 1984 film? Because that's...
Maybe. I'm actually thinking of Robot Chicken because I've seen it in Robot Chicken, so I might be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Star-Lord is out for me because of that stupid dance, and the fact that during the Infinity War, those films, he basically had the chance to kill. What's his face? Thanos, and he messed it up out of his sheer arrogance and emotional weakness. And I think because of that, despite Star-Lord being fun and he'd probably be great to be around, usefulness and overall awesomeness for me, Batman takes it, but only by a bit.
I'm happy to go with Batman.
Has never,
just because he's more.
You're happy to go with Batman, okay. And I think he's a shit ton smarter as well. I think when it came down to it, you'd rather have Batman on your side. They're both human as well, which I quite like. Right. We are looking at Wonder Woman versus Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
We need a bit... You're jumping for it, but we need a bit more of a why on it. We're getting close to the last one, so we need a why.
We need a why.
You have to explain it a bit more. The other ones it was easy to fob off because we didn't care, but right, this needs a bit more of explanation. I'm not being awkward. I just think it does.
I know it does. Yeah, it does. I just think Spider-Man's better. I mean, Wonder Woman. She's got a lasso of truth thing, and she's got a nice costume. For two obvious reasons. She's got super strength or whatever it is.
The actress carries that costume big time. Yeah, definitely.
She does. Yeah.
Sorry to be very male on that last 30 seconds. We both are. We apologise. Yeah.
But Spider-Man does have actual powers, spider sense, and he has that strength that she has anyway, and impervious to damage. He has a cool costume. I think he has more iconic
Spider-Man is
villains.
Impervious to damage.
Well, he's not impervious, but he's
I was going to say he got the shit kicked out of him. The Goblin kicked the hell out of him.
Yeah, but
he been dead. He could have been dead.
Yeah, but he was like using that super soldier like serum, weren't it? So it's not like. I mean, I think he can. I'm sure Spider-Man can survive a gunshot. I'm sure it's like toughened skin in a way that he can survive gunshots or something. But
I'm gonna find a spider and shoot it and see.
But they were mutated in a
"Ooh."
lab spiders, weren't they? So,
Yeah, I
for
think
me, it'd have
different
to be Spider-Man.
variations on that.
Mm.
I don't know. Have I got?
Who's more iconic?
I think they both are equal.
Yeah. Who's been the most iconic for the last 20 years? The most relevant?
For the last 20 years.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, but I think Wonder Woman is. I think especially with Gal Gadot's version, I think she has really shone through, and she's inspired because I feel like a lot the girls get a bit of a hard time with their superheroes, and I really think that she's been such a great. She's portrayed it so well, and she's inspired. It's the same with Black Panther. A lot of young black kids would be like they don't feel like they don't like attach themselves to any superhero, which is ridiculous because they could do whatever they want, you know. But a lot of parents have been. I think there was some facts put out to do with black people and the fact that they would go and see the film twice with their kids because they loved it that much, because they felt so connected to it.
Yeah.
In the same way for Wonder Woman, I think a lot of girls attach themselves. You see a lot of girls dressed up as Wonder Woman. But if I was to pick out the two, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't really care that much. I do care, but not in a sense of it's not gonna resort to fisticuffs over it. I'm gonna say, I'll go with Spider-Man. Especially the new Spider-Man. I think young Tom Holland, I think he portrays a very good Spider-Man.
He does.
He does. Right, the final one on here is Batman versus Spider-Man. And I think they're very equal. Very equal.
They are. The only thing I'm going for is on this one, because they're both my actual favourite superheroes are Spider-Man and Batman. So that this makes it quite difficult. But the only thing that I'm thinking is Spider-Man is actually a superhero because he's got superpowers, whereas Batman hasn't. He's just got money.
So he's a hero.
He's a hero, not a superhero. That's the only thing. That's the only difference I can come up with. The films are both very good. I can't even pick them apart. I mean, not so much the Ben Affleck ones.
I like Ben Affleck's Batman. I think it's really good. Actually,
is it better than the other though? The Dark Knight trilogy. That is a masterpiece. Them films.
Christian Bale is amazing as Batman. Like, just everything about it is absolutely amazing. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was very good. Even that stupid scene where he's like an emo and he's doing that weird dance, I think that's brilliant. I do like the Tobey Maguire. I think Paige likes the Andrew Garfield one as well.
I was never really a fan. I didn't mind it.
Hang on. Paige, do you like the Andrew Garfield one? Yep, a little shout out there for Andrew Garfield. This is like a flip of a coin, isn't it? I mean, if you, I would see both of them there. Are you using this as your incest?
No, because I've already got one as my incest, which I'm not using yet. So I don't mind.
Who could that be?
I don't think you'll guess.
No, I don't think. No, you're going to say Robin. I bet it'll be Robin. I'm just looking at your face, Robin. No. We'll have. Because I enjoy Spider-Man more in the films, and that's going to sway me over. I think the last couple of films that have had Spider-Man in, I think is brilliant. And we'll go for Spider-Man. I'm not saying I'm making the final choice. It's nothing like that. It's just a case of, I think that Spider-Man has been tremendous in the last few films. Ben Affleck not as good as Christian Bale. I think if for me, if this was Christian Bale's Batman against Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I think Batman would win. But I think because the new Tom Holland character has been so good, I think that that's helped it. And the gruff Ben Affleck, chunky Batman is kind of laid down a bit. Right, if you'd like to go through the next side, we'll find out who our final champion is for the final fight.
Right, so we've got Scarlet Witch versus Black Lightning.
Do you know who Black Lightning is?
No idea.
It's on Netflix, and he is like a comic book sort of. Obviously, it's a comic book thing, but he's on Netflix, and it's a black family, and the dad's got superpowers, and then like the daughter gets superpowers. I can't remember if both the daughters do, but it's actually really good. Right. Me and Karina have watched like 2 seasons. I think we need to watch more of it. It's one of those that we just fell out and just forgot to watch. But I do like the Scarlet Witch. I'm happy for the Scarlet Witch to go forward if you are.
I would have chose Scarlet Witch only because I don't know a thing, but I do like Scarlet Witch, especially after watching WandaVision. So I'm happy for Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet's in. Okay.
Right. So next one, Iron Man versus Cyborg.
I love Iron Man. I feel like he automatically just goes through, to be honest. I do like the Cyborg character, but I think he's a bit grumpy. Are we just gonna? We're not even gonna discuss it, are we?
Iron Man. Right. Next one. I think this is going to be an easy one as well. Hulk versus Green Arrow.
So I was talking to Karina earlier, and Hawkeye's the one that's in Avengers, and Green Arrow is something that I'm not entirely sure what's going off with. So I think it's going to be Hulk, isn't it?
Yeah, that would have to be Hulk.
Okay. Yeah.
And the next one is Thor versus Black Canary.
Thor.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know who Black Canary is.
No, neither do I.
Sorry.
Also, Thor's pretty good.
Black Canary.
Next one, Loki versus Robin.
I like Robin. I love... You remember Teen Titans, the actual good Teen Titans? Can you remember the good Teen Titans?
I remember Teen Titans, but I don't know which one's the good one or which one's not because I didn't watch them.
Teen Titans Go is garbage. Can throw it in the bin and forget about it. But the Teen Titans that came out before that, the animated is absolutely amazing. And I think Robin, the character in that, is brilliant. I do like Loki, though. I think he's a weird one. I think he's good, but also bad. Bit of an anti-hero sort of thing going off. He has like a lot of love for Thor, but at the same time he's very selfish. What are your thoughts on this?
Loki, I think Tom Hiddleston. Is it Hiddleston? Whatever.
Yes.
I think he plays Loki very well. I can't think of a Robin that I've really liked in films. I know there were the whatever acrobatic one, nipple one. Oh, didn't really do it after.
No, he did. He was in a TV crime show for years.
Yeah, like CSI or something.
Quite well for him. Yeah, it was like Hawaii 5 or something like that. He's done very well for himself, but at the same time, he's been sort of like a little bit forgotten. Yeah. I'm happy with Loki for that one. You like Loki, don't you?
Mm-hmm. So we have Gamora and Raven.
So Raven is in Teen Titans. She's the emo one, who's a bit mysterious.
She have like a hood up.
Yeah. I love the Raven character, and Paige really likes Raven. But is she better than Gamora? I want to say I prefer Raven to Gamora. Although I like the actress for Gamora. I think she plays it really well. But I do like Raven. But I'm not sure which for me is more prominent. What are your thoughts?
I don't really know who Raven is. I do know who she is now. You've said, but I don't really know as the character. I know Gamora.
You don't know her. Yeah.
I don't. But Gamora, I don't even know if I'd put her down as a superhero, to be honest. So I wouldn't If you want to go with Raven, I'm fine with that because I think if you put Gamora against any other one, I don't think she would ever win against any other ones really. That we've picked already.
It's not always about winning. It's about.
But for this, it is.
If we like them as well.
No, I don't mean in a fight. I mean for me, if I had to choose them against any of the others.
Oh.
So
okay.
I don't think I would choose her. So I'm happy to go with Raven. If you want Raven.
Bit of silence there. Sorry, I was just thinking. I don't think Raven's going to win against Thor, or the Hulk, or Iron Man. Maybe for me, I prefer Raven to Scarlet Witch. But I'll put her down, but it's more of a token gesture than, because I think they're both a bit they're not a winner. But I'll have Raven because I do like her character. I think she's kind of unique in this bunch.
So that's so Raven.
Yeah, Ravens.
Yeah. Right, next one.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel versus Starfire.
So you said you don't know who Starfire is. She's in the Teen Titans. She's an alien. Now, for me, Starfire in the Teen Titans is great. Now, Starfire in the new, like, real life, is that what they call it? Real life acting? I don't know what you call it. In the other one that was on, is it on Netflix? I don't like her because the Raven was a bit quirky and a bit awkward and a bit unsure. But in this one, they kind of made her a bit cocky and a bit, I don't know. And the actress I don't like the actress much. So I think for me, Starfire from Teen Titans would probably win, but current Starfire in the Netflix show is the adaptation's a bit, I don't really like it, to be honest. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I don't know who Starfire is, but Captain Marvel, I've not got no strong ties to her either. I quite enjoyed the film. It weren't as good as, because it weren't as good as Guardians of the Galaxy, which it felt like it was trying to be, its soundtrack and stuff, but the 90s version. I wasn't overly enamoured by Captain Marvel, so if you want to go Starfire, I'm happy to do that.
I'm actually going to... Are you happy with Captain Marvel?
Yeah, I'll go whichever.
I like to think Captain Marvel's got potential. Also, I like it when she's got like short hair. I think she looks different. She looks just like a change. She's like, oh, she's got short hair now. I'm going to go with Captain Marvel just because she's a bit more well known and I don't know if she's more powerful in terms of, some nerd will tell me. I don't use nerd in an offensive way. Just you need that nerd/geek ability. That special power.
I thought Captain Marvel was supposed to be stronger than Superman. Is she like the strongest person ever?
I don't know because aren't they? They're not from the same. They're not. No, they're not. Are they?
No.
She's Marvel, isn't she? Of course, she's Marvel's Captain Marvel. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll go. I'm going to go Captain Marvel if that's okay with you.
Yep, that's fine. Okay. Next one, Doctor Strange and Shazam.
Do you know who Shazam is?
Yes.
The film Shazam. It's like,
yeah.
I think Shazam's a bit stupid. I'm not the biggest fan of Shazam, although I do know Shazam is supposed to be super powerful. I like Doctor Strange. I like the actor. I find him a bit arrogant.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
But at the same time, I also, not the actor, the character in the films. I find him a little bit arrogant.
That's his thing.
Also,
that's what he's got to. That's why.
Yeah. But it's okay to dislike that. If you don't like it, then it's fair. It's fair game to mention it. I think Doctor Strange for this one. I think Shazam's still very new for me. I don't have any sort of ties. And I'm happy to go with Strange if you are. Yep,
I would have chose Doctor Strange. I know both of them quite well. Shazam, stupid. I watched the film. It was alright, but I don't like the actor that plays him. Doctor Strange, one of my favourite superhero films. I can't wait for the next one.
Okay.
So I'm happy for Doctor Strange.
I do like the film, and I think it's alright. Yeah, Strange, right? Go for it. We're on our next row.
Right.
It down.
Scarlet Witch against Iron Man. I feel like this is obvious.
Iron Man for me is... Iron Man for me is a bit like Batman. You know, it's like I would just say Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with Iron Man.
Okay.
So, bit more decisive. This one, Hulk versus Thor.
Yeah, I like Hulk. Hulk smash. I like Hulk. I think it's brilliant. But would you choose him over Thor? I wouldn't choose. If it was Hulk versus Fat Thor, then Hulk would win. I hate Fat Thor. It really annoys me. Fat Thor. I just don't get it. I just don't. Fat Thor. I just don't get it. I was just like, no, I don't get it. For me, I like Thor when he's at his best, when he's in his prime, when he's, when he comes down with that hammer and he smashes stuff to bits. I like Thor.
When he's in Ragnarok.
Like Chris Hemsworth plays him, I think. Yeah. I like it. I like Ragnarok. Ragnarok is like a good film.
Yeah, it's a proper good film.
So enjoyable. The soundtrack, the actors, the setting, everything. And Hulk also. Hulk is good in Ragnarok.
That's his best film, I think.
I would agree. I'm happy to go with Thor.
Yep, I'm happy with that.
I'm not pushing for Hulk. Okay, Thor.
I think Thor's an easy win on that one because he's quite cool, Thor. I do like Thor.
Yeah.
Loki versus Raven.
So it's for me. I think it's a Loki win on this one.
Just a low-key win. Yep.
Low-key win. Okay, next one.
Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange.
I think we're just the obvious is Doctor Strange, isn't it? Would I be right? I think he is powerful, good character, very powerful. He can turn back time and all sorts of stuff, can't he?
Yep.
Captain Marvel. I think if Captain Marvel was fleshed out a bit more, maybe we could get a better idea of what she's all about. But right now, in this current state of like commercial knowledge, it's just
We've only had like one and a bit films from her, so I don't really know.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, this is when it starts getting a bit tough now. Iron Man and Thor.
So I'm going to say for me, Iron Man wins this. Mainly because of one would be Paige's absolute love for Iron Man and the fact that he sacrificed himself. Despite his arrogance, his cockiness, his flippant, I know better than you, kind of, I'm a rich billionaire, philanthropist, whatever he said, I can't remember the quote. But, ultimately it came down to that point where he took control. He jumped on that alien ship that went off. He didn't know what was going off. He tried to save Spider-Man, tried to get rid of it, tried to save him, but Spider-Man just came back. He died. He died to save. He was smart enough to use the right thoughts to save billions upon billions of the universe. He essentially brought half of them back, didn't he? And Thor doesn't give me anything to better that right now. But I'm willing to hear whatever you've got to say.
For me, it's gone to a little bit of a Brexit vote for me. So it's like 52-48, where I'm choosing Thor.
Where it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. It's a fit because I'm struggling to get between them, to be honest. Thor only because I think he's just a bit slightly cooler. But I was trying to think of films because I don't particularly like the single Iron Man films. I prefer him in Avengers and stuff like that.
I think they're okay. Yeah.
But with the Thor films, I also don't particularly like the single Thor films other than Ragnarok, because I think that's when they captured that little spark, the Avengers Assemble sort of Avengers films spark, and that went on to Thor, whereas Iron Man had already had his films and he didn't get another film after they've got that like Avengers vibe going. So that's the only reason I was choosing Thor. But because it's so close at 52-48 for me, I'm happy to go with Iron Man, because I mean he made Spider-Man, so he's got that going for him. And he did sacrifice himself.
He encouraged Spider-Man to be the Spider-Man that Spider-Man could be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a ridiculous sentence, but maybe if it wasn't for Iron Man and investing in him, Spider-Man would never have. Well, this current Spider-Man would never have sort of evolved into the awesome kind of Spider-Man that he is. So we're both happy to say Iron Man, but at the same time unhappy because Thor is also brilliant.
Yeah. So we love Iron Man 3000. We'll have that. So as next one.
So now. Yep, go for it.
Is
I was just looking. Sorry, I nearly said it. Go on.
It's Loki and Doctor Strange.
I think that's a tough one. I think they are closer. No, they are equally as close as Iron Man and Thor. Definitely. But I want you to give your. I want to hear your viewpoint first.
It's
pros and cons for both. Just go for it.
Pros. Doctor Strange, I think, is cool, and I quite like his powers because he's not just got the time one. He's got like magic stuff, and he can go into different alternative realities and stuff.
He can do that really cool, like that wheel. What do they call it? What do they call it? That fireworks.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Catherine wheel.
Yeah,
the Catherine wheel.
They do like a Catherine wheel, which it looks good. The visual effects for that film are really good, like Inception good.
Yes.
He does have a bit of an attitude, and he is a slow burner with people. I think they're his cons. Whereas Loki, he does have lots of powers. He's a god of mischief and stuff, so he does have. You don't even know what his powers are. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got that many different. He can change his face, who he is, voice, create illusions and stuff. So that's another tough one. And Tom Hiddleston plays him perfect. He's funny.
Yeah. I'm happy to give Loki this one, but only because Doctor Strange is easily not likeable. And because he's not likeable, you kind of detach yourself from caring about him. But when stuff happens to Loki, I sort of care. I'm like, he's a dick, but no. You know, he's like I haven't got any brothers or sisters, but it's like something happening to someone in your family that you don't like, but you're like, I still got to keep an eye on him. Do you know what I mean? He's like, he's lovable, whereas Doctor Strange isn't. He's annoying, even if he's meant to be annoying or not. You know, I'm happy to go with Loki if that's what you want. I'm happy for Loki because I know you like Doctor Strange.
I do, but in this context, I think Loki wins it because.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I can't come up with anything that trumps. Just look. I mean, Loki's had more screen time, so you've got that sort of ingrained, don't you? They've got stupid bits where he gets like beat up by Hulk and stuff, but he hasn't had his own.
You say
film.
More screen time, but it's more like part-time screen time as opposed to a full-time. Hasn't he got a film coming out or something that's coming out?
Well, hopefully. I mean, he's been in more. His character's been in more of the Marvel films than Doctor Strange's, which I think Doctor Strange has been in 2 or 3. Loki's been in like nearly all of them, hasn't he? So it's quite good. Yeah, let's go with Loki.
Okay, so we're down to the last 2 on this.
Yeah, the tough one, but I've got a feeling who's going to win. Iron Man and Loki.
I think, despite Loki's power, I put Iron Man at just above him. Because of the aforementioned reasons of him just being, super smart. Despite his money, is super smart, but also the fact that he's such a good guy at heart. I think he wins for that. I think Loki, his not being able to trust him, kind of lets him down as to be considered as that final going up against Spider-Man in our this is our opinion situation, isn't it? But yeah, for me, Iron Man is above Loki. But go for it on your end.
Well, this is a tough one, only because it's superheroes, and neither of them are actually superheroes. If we're going off the Batman definition of he's just a hero, that's what Iron Man is. And Loki is not a hero at all. He's an anti-hero. Well, not barely an anti-hero. He's the villain in some of the films.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
So I think we'd have to choose Iron Man, even though he's not a superhero. He's still a hero. Do you know what I mean? And I think Iron Man could take Loki in a fight, even with his superpowers, just because they're both very smart, but Iron Man's a lot smarter than Loki, whereas Loki's more cunning. But I think in an actual fight, Iron Man wins.
So now we're down to the last two. We're down to Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. It's like the father-son battle, that.
And we can't use our vote on this. We can't use our thing on this. We can't, because that wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to do Spider-Man because I say so. That's not fair. We know that's not fair. So, Spider-Man or Iron Man, and funnily enough, this has come down to a Marvel versus Marvel. So we could just leave them as it is because Marvel win. Hello.
Oh, you cut out. I couldn't hear then. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, what I said was, what we could do is we could actually theoretically leave this here because we've got two Marvel characters. So for DC versus Marvel, Marvel have already won.
Yeah.
Do we discuss our favourite out of Spider-Man and Iron Man?
Well, with it obviously being Spider-Man, I think I'm happy to keep it as Marvel, but because Spider-Man's a proper superhero. He's got superpowers. I know he's got like a special suit because in the new ones because of Tony giving him one.
Yeah, if he was left in his normal pajamas, I think he'd be at a disadvantage. I think his special suit really helps him out.
Yeah, but if you look at him as a whole character, if you're going on like the Tobey Maguire one, he can actually fire web out of his hands, and he can climb walls and fight and stuff. So, whereas the Tom Holland can't. So, isn't the official sort of web cartridges
that he uses the cartridges.
Yeah, it doesn't actually come out of his wrist because Peter Parker's supposed to be extremely smart as well. He's like a scientist.
Yes,
and he invents all the stuff himself.
I think Spider-Man, Peter Parker, would be Iron Man if he had more money.
Yeah, it would. 100% it would.
I think these are two equal. I think they're two equal. I think as they stand, as characters, their influence, their likability, I think they're equal. And I'm more in favour of Iron Man, and you're more in favour of Spider-Man. Neither of us really want to budge. I would be happy to call it a draw for Spider-Man and Iron Man, but a win for Marvel. Yep,
that's fine by me, and it shows that DC. I don't think the stories or the heroes are as strong as Marvel. I think Marvel does win.
Other than Batman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but yeah, they have shining ones, but only a couple. Whereas Marvel, I think they have a lot of good characters.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We will leave this to our very small community members that like to contribute to pick out of Spider-Man and Iron Man for the better of the Marvel characters that have ended up being our joint champions. Are you happy to do that?
Yep, but they need to tell
Adam,
us why.
Basically, it's yes, good reasons why. We want Terry. You can't just go, I don't like Spider-Man because I don't like the colour red. It doesn't work like that. We want good reasons. See, we know that you're a bit of a nerd, and you might have a lot. I like to think you have probably more knowledge of this than me. So give us some reasons of which one is the best out of Spider-Man and Iron Man, and you're not allowed to mention any other characters on here or any characters that we've not included. Only Spider-Man and Iron Man are up for the talk. Even if you really
Why
like
and why not?
Why not? Give us your reasons, and we will mention them on the next podcast. We 100% will bring it up, and we'll see what's happened.
Let's see if you can change our mind as well.
Yeah, see if you can change our mind, and if there is one of them that is specifically better. Thanks for joining us. Drop a comment with your thoughts on superheroes, specifically Iron Man and Spider-Man. Give us a few comments on that. We're really interested to know what our community thinks on that. Don't forget to give us that like and subscribe, because you know how much you love us, and you'll hear plenty more from us. A big thanks to my co-host Nathan.
Thank you very much.
And a big thanks from me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to us today. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and various other platforms. Not to forget, of course, YouTube. Myself and Nathan also do weekly Twitch streams. Find us at ShaggyDog79 and LordShade86, respectively. We're always looking for new people to connect with, so give us both a follow if that's your sort of thing.